This is Kai Wang, and today I'm gonna demonstrate my code. I wrote this assignment within C# language. The first thing that I did is to create a txt file, and I take this one as an example. And this basically means T2 is based on T1, and it's also parallel with T3. So T3 is also based on T1, and T4 is based on both T2 and T3. T5 is based on T4. So the idea that of this application, basically it does to find the sequential sign first and run whatever is before this sign. And also there's another process is once you see a sequential sign, you have to go back to check, see about 1 to 2 ahead this sequential sign, see if it is a parallelism sign. If it is, then we have to run both tasks. Let's go back to the code. The first thing that I did is to create a function basically called compute. What this function does is to sum from integer n to integer k. And here's a long integer that I create, name it as sum, and then initial it as 0, and use a for loop to do the computation. And then for demonstrate purpose, I ask the system to print out the sum from integer n to integer k is blah blah how much. And then the second function that I create is to check and run the tasks. What it means by check is to see once whether a task has been run before. If it is, then we don't have to run it again. But if it never runs, we have to ask the system to run and complete this task. I just create 5 tasks. And the first one basically to ask the system to sleep for 2 seconds. And then also for demonstrate purpose, I ask the system to print out this task has been complete, just for you to easy to see every single task has been run. And the second task is to sum from integer 1 to 38. And the third task is to ask the system to sleep for 5 seconds. And the task 4 is basically to ask the system to sum from 1 to 10 million. The last one is to ask the system to sleep for 3 seconds. And there are a bunch of if and else if condition. What it does is to check, see if any task has been run before or not, so that we don't run a task twice. And then we go to the main function. The first part is to load the txt file to a list. I create a brand new list called order, and it's the string list. And then ask the system to open this file, name 1.txt. The input basically to ask the system to read every single line until it's null. This value is basically its input split by space. And then we just add value to this empty list called order. And then we close the file. For demonstrate purpose, also I ask the system to print out the txt file, just for you to easy to see that what did I put in the txt file. And then for building structure, as I said, let's run the program first so that it will be easier for you to see what basically I did. Okay, the program has been run already. And here's what I put in the txt file. Is this line, and then T1 has no prerequisite, which is this part. If there's anything ahead, we can just ignore that part. And then T2 is based on T1. So what I did is to ask the system to run task 1 ahead. And then T3 is also based on T1. It's just because I use index to ask the system to read, see if this one is parallel sign or not. If it is, just go back 1, 2, 3. Go back to 3 and ask the system to run task 1. But as you can see, we call the function check, and just to make sure task 1 has not been run before. But obviously, since T2, this part T2 to T1, task 1 has been run already. So for this one T3, T1, we don't have to run task 1 again. And T4 is based on T2, T3. It's because we read this one as sequential and we go back to 1, 2 and see the sign is to be parallelism. So we have to run whatever before this symbol and after this symbol. So before we run T4, we have to run T2, T3 first. So we ask the system, go ahead, run T2. As you can see, T2 has been complete. And then we ask the system to run T3, which is sleep for 5 seconds. The last one is T4 to, T5 is based on T4. T4 has not been run before, so we ask the system to run T4. And then we ask the system to run whatever the end is, which is T5 right now. And you may wonder, see if this one really works or not. So let's go ahead, put another example and change the task orders and also the sequential and parallelism sign order. Let's do T3 and then T1 and change the symbol to sequential. And then change this one into parallel and flip the order. Oh, this one has to be 4. And then save it. And we'll ask the system to run the task again, compare the result. See, the first time that we run this order and the second time we run as this order. And T3, there is no prerequisite, so we don't have to run anything. T1 is based on T3, so we ask the system to run T3 first. And then T4 is based on T1. T1 has been completed. And T5 is based on T1 also because it's parallel with T4. And T1 has been run already, so we don't have to run it again. And T2 is based on both T4 and T5, so we need to complete T4 first and T5, and the last one is T2. So I ran 2 examples. As you can see, the system basically works. And here's my code, and thank you for your time.